Though we can always choose one frame type per tag, PractiCAD also has the capability to choose a specific frame type based on a condition set that you predefine in your software. For example, imagine you'd like a tag that would be attached to a piece of duct, and if that duct was one material, it would get one frame type. However, if that duct was a different material, it would get a different frame type. If we'd like to do that, we must use the Advanced tab in our Common Parameters section. What we're going to do here is we're going to depress the Advanced tab. When we do that, PractiCAD is going to open up a series of windows, regardless of what tag type we're working in. On the left-hand side, we're going to click the green Add button twice, and that's going to allow us to create two conditions. First, we can name our conditions whatever we want. We're going to name the first one Black Iron. Then we're going to choose the frame type that we would like this condition to get. We're going to say that if it's black iron, we'd like the frame circle. Now what we must do is choose the conditions that the fitting must meet in order for PractiCAD to give the circle frame. Now if you have gone through these conditions in the PractiCAD layer mechanism, the condition set is the same throughout the software. So what we're going to do is we're going to say, let's include all fittings where the material equals black iron. So what we're going to do is we're going to click on this box and we're going to get a drop down menu of all the conditions in the software. And we can jump to a specific condition by hitting the first letter. So what we're going to do here is hit the letter M. When I do that, it's going to go right to M. And now I can quickly find the parameter material. Every parameter in the software is listed under these conditions. Now what we're going to do is say when the material, and here we're going to drop down and say when the material equals, and now we're going to get a list of our materials. Remember, in your tutorials or your PractiCAD, your materials could be different than the ones you see here. It's all dependent upon an individual customer's data. Here we're going to say that material equals black iron. Now what we're going to do is we're going to check this condition box. So the only way we are going to get a circle frame around this tag is if the material of the duct we click on happens to be black iron. Now you'll notice down here we've got two choices, internal border and external border. Each tag can have two frames, an inside frame and an outside or external frame surrounding that frame. We're going to say for black iron we just want an internal frame. And then we can choose the color of that frame, and we can also choose the line type of that frame. Currently, we're going to say that the line type of this frame is going to be on the continuous layer. And there are separate tutorials on loading line types and using colors, line types, and line weights. Now what we're going to do is create our second condition. We're going to say this is going to be for brass. And for brass, we're going to say that we want a border that's going to be square. And we're going to say here that brass is going to be when material, we're going to press the letter M, we're going to go down to material, is when material equals brass. And then we're going to check the condition box again so that the material should be defined and should be equal to brass. There are separate tutorials that explain the logic of this checkbox. Now we're going to say that we don't just want a square, we want a double bordered square. So we're going to say that we want the internal and external. But this time we're going to change the line types. We're going to say the line type for the internal is going to be our hidden dashed 2. So it's going to be a dotted line on the inside. Some contractors might use, for acoustic lined fittings, a frame that has the inside dotted and the outside solid. So what we're going to do here is we're going to say the internal border is going to be line type hidden. We're going to say the external border is going to be the continuous layer. So we can choose a separate line type, line weight, and color for each internal or external border. Now what we're going to do is we're going to save. Now we're going to exit out of the system and we're going to try to utilize this tag. We're going to go into our tag bin and we're going to utilize the length tag, and we're going to simply click on the duct and place it on the drawing. Notice currently that there is no frame. That's because that's the way we have it currently set as a default. However, we're going to double click on this duct and take a look at the properties. Notice the material is currently galvanized. Now we're going to switch it to one of the conditions we created a frame type for. We're going to say let's change that material to black iron. Once we do that, you can see that PractiCAD has edited the frame to be a circle. with just one border. It's an internal circle with the line type continuous. Now what we're going to do is we're going to change the material to brass. Here you can see that it's gone with an internal and external border. It's square, and you can see that the internal border is following the line type hidden times 2, and the external is following the solid continuous line. So utilizing this feature, we can indicate different conditions of fittings just by looking at the frame of the tag.